Next time you're buckled into a shiny jet, scrolling your phone while a safety video swears a life vest will save you somewhere over Kansas, ask yourself, who's sweating more? The pilot up front, or the air traffic controller juggling your plane? 5 others and a rogue ground crew on the wrong taxiway? We trust some invisible force to keep giant metal tubes from kissing at 500 knots. It works. But behind that calm, cleared for takeoff, is a circus that's messier, funnier, and occasionally scarier than you think. Safe, but stretched to the limit. Let's start with the good news. Commercial flying in the US is astonishingly safe. The network of controllers, pilots, and safety engineers is one of the most reliable systems humans have ever built. But safe doesn't mean relaxed. Over the past couple of years, air traffic control has been running close to capacity. The Federal Aviation Administration itself admitted in 2024 that controller fatigue, hiring shortfalls, and tech hiccups were pushing the system harder than it should run. The agency has responded by launching a close call safety campaign, accelerating new tech that spots potential runway conflicts, and making schedule reforms to help controllers stay alert. And it's working. The most serious runway incursions, the kind that could actually cause collisions, dropped noticeably in 2024 compared with 2023. Still, the margin for error feels uncomfortably thin on bad days. Think of it like a Michelin-starred kitchen. The food is perfect, but behind the swinging door, pans are flying and someone's shouting about a missing spoon. The staffing problem no one wants to own. Yes, you've probably heard there aren't enough air traffic controllers. That's true, but the deeper secret is that the issue isn't just raw numbers, it's distribution. Some facilities are comfortably staffed, while critical hubs like New York, Atlanta, and Southern California run lean. A National Academies review released in 2025 revealed that about 30% of facilities were technically overstaffed, while the busiest towers were short. Moving trained people is tricky. You can't just Uber a controller to JFK. Training isn't quick either. Becoming fully certified at a complex hub can take years, and you can't shortcut that without risking safety. The Federal Aviation Administration has been hiring aggressively, more than 2,000 new controllers in 2024 alone. But the pipeline simply can't catch up overnight after a decade of falling behind. Add in Congress occasionally flirting with government shutdowns, which can halt training at the Federal Aviation Administration Academy in Oklahoma City, and you have a perfect storm of overtime shifts and frayed nerves. We're not running out of controller. We're just bad at getting the right people in the right places at the right time. Meanwhile, the ones who are there keep working extra hours to keep the skies moving. Fatigue, the unseen threat. If you've ever tried to function after a red-eye flight, you know what circadian chaos feels like. Now imagine doing that while managing the trajectories of several aircraft at once. For years, controllers have endured brutal schedules like the infamous 2-2-1 rotation. 2 afternoon shifts, 2 early mornings, and then a midnight. It's like asking your body clock to tap dance. After safety investigators flagged fatigue as a growing hazard, the Federal Aviation Administration and Controllers Union agreed to overhaul scheduling. Controllers now must have at least 10 hours off between shifts and 12 hours around overnight duties, and overtime limits are stricter. These changes matter because fatigue isn't about laziness, it's about biology. Sleep debt blunts vigilance, reaction time, and judgment. Exactly what you don't want in a tower full of radar scopes. Think of it this way: you want the person separating jets over Chicago to be caffeinated and alert, not wondering if they left the garage door open after 2 hours of sleep. Scarier headlines than statistics. Every few weeks, a video goes viral. 2 jets pass within a football field, or a plane is told to cross a runway as another lands. Cue dramatic music and shaky graphics. It's terrifying, like until you understand how the numbers work. The Federal Aviation Administration categorizes runway incursions from A, barely avoided collision, to D, minor oops caught early. Most are C or D, meaning low risk and resolved well before danger. The hair-raising A and B events, the ones that keep safety investigators up at night, actually dropped in 2024 to the lowest level since before the pandemic. The system is designed to catch small mistakes before they escalate, and it's getting better at it. But here's the paradox. As reporting gets better, and tech gets smarter at spotting deviations, the raw number of incidents goes up even while risk goes down. It's a bit like seeing more security alerts on your phone because your doorbell camera got sharper. The headlines don't tell you the context, but safety nerds track the severity curve, and that curve has been improving. Technology that's quietly saving lives. Air traffic control tech doesn't make flashy headlines because when it works, nothing happens, and nothing happened doesn't sell. But behind the scenes, some powerful upgrades are rolling out. One is Approach Runway Verification, software that warns controllers if a plane lines up on the wrong runway or wrong airport. Another is ASDE-X and other surface radar systems, which track every moving thing on the tarmac and warn of conflicts. The Federal Aviation Administration is expanding runway safety devices to dozens more airports by 2026, aiming to stop those scary aircraft crossing moments before they start. On the flight deck, there's a push for cockpit alerts that say, "Runway occupied," using GPS and ADS-B, basically a car's collision warning system but for airplanes. Airlines have been slower to adopt it fully. Retrofits are expensive. But pressure is growing after a string of near misses. None of this replaces human judgment, but it's like giving controllers and pilots extra pairs of eyes that never blink. Outages and single points of failure. The US learned a hard lesson in January 2023 when a corrupted file in the NOTAM, Notice to Air Mission system, forced a nationwide ground stop, the first since September 11th. Suddenly, every pilot and dispatcher was flying blind on crucial safety notices. The Federal Aviation Administration promised redundancy and better change management, but the incident revealed how fragile some legacy systems remain. Smaller outages still happen. In 2025, a cut fiber line near North Texas briefly took out parts of the radar and telecom network, slowing traffic across the region. These failures aren't glamorous, no hackers in dark hoodies, just mundane tech debt and unlucky construction crews. But they remind everyone that modernization isn't optional. The Federal Aviation Administration is now spending billions to harden its networks, add backups, and reduce single points of failure. It's boring and vital. Humans, mistakes, and radical honesty. Despite all the tech, the real safety backbone is people owning up to mistakes. Pilots and controllers have access to NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System, where they can anonymously confess screw-ups without fear of punishment. These reports feed safety changes, better signage, training updates, phraseology tweaks. It's an unusually humble culture. If you mess up, you say so before someone else pays the price. The NTSB has also pushed for regular low-visibility training for controllers and more cockpit alerts for runway conflicts. It's not glamorous, but it's why the system improves after every close call instead of sweeping it under the rug. Airports are not created equal. Not every tower has the same stress level. Busy hubs like Atlanta, Dallas, and JFK handle far more complex traffic than small regional airports, so they rack up more runway incursions simply by volume. But the important measure risk per operation shows that the big airports are actually getting slightly safer thanks to better procedures and tech. So next time your plane sits forever waiting to cross a runway, don't sigh too loudly. That pause isn't incompetence, it's caution. The tower might be waiting for an alert to clear or double-checking that nobody's where they shouldn't be. The ongoing push to modernize. Next generation isn't just a buzzword. It's a massive overhaul of how U.S. air traffic runs. The Federal Aviation Administration is upgrading surface movement systems, radar networks, and scheduling software to match controller staffing to demand in real time. It's also replacing fragile telecom links and modernizing weather services, which are critical for traffic flow. Congress has pumped billions into this effort, but progress is uneven and politically bumpy. Oversight reports from the Government Accountability Office and the Department of Transportation Inspector General keep reminding lawmakers that you can't run a 21st century airspace on 20th century software forever. The good news, the updates are happening, though slower than anyone wants. And there you have it, the hidden world of air traffic control, where safety is built one nerdy improvement at a time. If this peek behind the radar screens made you see flying in a whole new way, and maybe appreciate that calm voice in the tower a little more, smash that like and hit subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you at cruising altitude.